Almirola leads them to the green, and we're racing in 2023 as the Busch Light Clash at the LA Coliseum is underway. Door-to-door, 2x2, all the way through the field. Almirola locking the brakes up just a little bit, going into 3 and 4 as he's going to lead the opening lap of the race by a little less than a half a car length over Truex, who is still on the outside. The fight for the bottom begins, and as quickly as you can get down, the better. And we've got a spin, middle of the pack right now, bringing out our first caution, and it was not that far in front of the race leader, as it was Eric Jones in the 43 who goes for a spin. We've got a spinner, Denny Hamlin's around. Caution is out, and this is not going to get us into the break yet, because again, caution laps do not count. Denny Hamlin has spun off of turn 2, and it might have been contact from Ross Chastain, which if those of you that are either new to NASCAR or don't know, Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain had quite a bit of an ongoing feud throughout the course of last season, probably the biggest rivalry throughout the course of last year. And there was contact between the two cars again, which sent Hamlin around. Green flag back in the air, 2 laps until halfway. Good launch by both of the cars on the front row. Truex pushing the 23 right off the exit of turn 2. Reddick still stuck on the outside. Austin Dillon's holding on very good, but then Wallace gets a launch from behind by the 19. Austin Dillon charges hard through 1 and 2. He's still holding his own pretty well on the outside, trying to beat the 23. Overcooks the corner. He's going to lose a couple spots here. He got really loose off turn 4. We are halfway home. Once all the lead lap cars cross the line, the caution will come out. Austin Dillon lost an extra spot there to Truex. Much standing even start between the 41 and the 23, and Priest on the outside. A love tap with the 23 of Wallace down underneath him. He's so close to clearing him this time into turns 3 and 4. Wallace gets a hit from behind. Priest is clear. On the outside, Ryan Priest will get to the lead. He has got to have had the best restarts of any driver in this field today. Priest down on the bottom, trying to pull clear. The 48 of Bowman, not quite going to be able to do it yet. Still side by side for the race lead into 3 and 4. Wallace also side by side, and it looks like Kyle Busch has gone around. My money. He goes around, and there goes my money again. Jeez Louise. Caution is out. Justin Haley gets turned off the front bumper of, I believe, the 45. Kind of been nowhere to be found this whole race, but now he's in the top 10 for the first time tonight. Showing up later and later into this race. Priest putting a little bit of a gap on Alex Bowman at the front of the field. Oh, Blaney's around. No. Ryan Blaney's around. Right after he got in the top 10 for the first time, he gets dumped. More than likely. Caution's out with 37 laps to go. Our 14th caution of the night. This is not a good night for me. Losing my voice. My man Ryan Blaney just crashed for the second time in this race. And my money picks of Kyle Busch and Justin Haley have both spun in the second half of the race while running in the top 10. Austin Dillon battles Bubba Wallace for position. They beat and banging out side by side for the lead. There's contact, and Martin Truex Jr. is out in front for the first time tonight. 24 laps to go. Truex takes the lead away from Ryan Priest on this long run. Priest has been the best car on a restart or restart so far today, so if we get a caution, don't count Priest out of it. And if we have a long enough green flag run, they may catch lap traffic as well, which could play a big factor in the finish of this race. Austin Dillon, meanwhile, gets by Bubba Wallace for third. He is closing in on Ryan Priest for second. Mountain Dew is good for the larynx. Is that a doctor's order? Truex quickly pulling away. Ryan Priest has lost the bottom lane now to Austin Dillon, who is up to second. Bubba Wallace bashes the left rear corner panel of Priest, and he's going to move up to third, and Priest is stuck on the outside now. Trying to get down to the bottom. Bowman's there instead. Dillon gets back to the bottom. He knocks the 23 up the track. He's in the wall. Caution's out. Austin Dillon has turned Bubba Wallace, and tempers have flared with about 7 laps to go. Bubba Wallace and Austin Dillon were absolutely leaning on each other back and forth for the entirety of that green flag run, all 4 laps of it. Dillon had enough. He was able to get to the bottom right in front of Kyle Busch and just sent Bubba Wallace going into turn number 1. 2 to go at the line, half a mile of racing left. About a 2 to 3 car length difference between Martin Truex Jr. and Austin Dillon. He's too far back to try any sort of a bump and run move on the final lap as they stand right now. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Busch is slowly losing Austin Dillon, and Dillon cannot keep up with Martin Truex Jr. Off of turn 4 for the final time. The checkered flag waves, and the guy who didn't win a race last year will win the first race this year. Martin Truex Jr. will win the 2023 Busch Light Clash at the LA Memorial Coliseum, and Byron just dumped Hamlin after the checkered flag.